One thing various ancient cultures depicted in their art are deities or other supernatural beings carrying a handbag. These are cultures from different parts of the world, which in some cases are not known to have had contact with the other cultures with handbag depictions at that time in history. So what exactly are these handbags for, and why do they appear in so many places? Here's an Assyrian relief panel from the Northwest Palace at Nimrud, now in the British Museum. This winged supernatural being with an eagle's head is holding a handbag in one hand and what looks a little bit like a pine cone in the other hand. It's not known for sure what either is for, but some think it is symbolic of fertilization, with the pine cone being a male date spathe used by Mesopotamians with water to actually fertilize female date palm trees. While the date might be used for dispensing water, in Akkadian it is described as a purifier. This might suggest the supernatural being is performing some kind of purification ritual. If so, the handbag in this case might better be described as a bucket. This Assyrian relief, now housed in the Louvre Museum, shows a similar scene, but in this case the relief is either of a man or a jinn holding the date and bucket in the same position. This one, also at the Louvre, is another depiction of a jinn with a handbag, possibly performing a blessing. You can find other similar images from ancient Mesopotamia. Handled stone weights have been found in the Middle East that resemble the look of handbags. I say handled stone weights because most of the pictures of them I have seen refer to them as stone weights, although I'm not sure if they really know for sure that these were used as stone weights, or if they might have served some other kind of decorative or ritual purpose. The first one, dating from the 2nd or 3rd century BC, is from ancient Bactria, a region once part of the Persian Empire in what is now Afghanistan. The rest are much older and come from an archaeological site in Jaraft, Iran, that dates from the 3rd or 4th millennium BC, long predating even the Persian Empire. It's so old, it's not even known for sure what city it is. Some think it might have been the mythical city of Arata, a wealthy city appearing in ancient Sumerian literature, or Marhasi, an ancient kingdom said to be east of Sumer in what would now be Iran. Although these weights, if that's what they are, do resemble the handbags we see in other ancient arts, I don't know that those are what they are trying to depict. These are found in the same region of the world that the Sumerian and Gobekli Tepe art are found in, but I think the resemblance is probably coincidental. I like the idea that the depictions of people holding handbags are actually holding some kind of handbag or bucket. The idea of it being used to carry water seems more likely to me than the idea that they are carrying around a stone weight. Plus all the stone weights are decorative, but the handbags don't appear to have any sort of decoration on them. So I think the resemblance here is just coincidental, although it's possible both of these could be true. Some could depict handbags and others could depict stone weights. In La Venta, we see the Mesoamerican god Quetzalcoatl with a priest sitting on him holding a handbag as well. In this depiction, he appears to only be holding a handbag and is holding it out in front of him instead of down by his side. It's not really clear what the significance here might be, but it's possible it's still part of some kind of ritual blessing. In Tula, we see the Toltec statues holding what appears to be handbags at their sides. It's not clear what the significance is here. It's possible it's just simply how they carry things around. In New Zealand, the Maori people have a creation myth of a god named Tane, not sure if I pronounced that right or not, who brought down 3 baskets of knowledge from heaven. Far away in Turkey, the famous Pillar 43, also known as the Vulture Stone at Gobekli Tepe, has what some people think looks a lot like 3 handbags at the top of it. This would be the oldest known depiction of handbags, if that's what they are, but I don't think that is what's being depicted here. For one, there is no one holding them, and 2, what would be the handle doesn't reach all the way to the other side of whatever it is, which is a bit unlike a normal handbag. And 3, whatever they are, there appears to be some kind of creature standing on them, indicating they are likely something larger than a handbag, like some kind of arch. Gobekli Tepe predates any written records we have, so that makes it difficult to decipher what these might be, what they mean, or what any of the rest of the pillars' depictions mean. Some people think the pillar is depicting something astrological. It's possible the arches are representing the dome of the sky, so to speak, and the bottom being the ground, which the creatures being some kind of astrological symbol, possibly depicting three different astrological time periods. Another possibility is it's some kind of flood story, with the arches being arcs. The lines above the arcs being rain, the lines under it being floodwaters from the oceans. The creatures would be examples of animals on the arcs. These are just guesses at what might be depicted on the vulture stone, but whatever they are, I don't think the arches are handbags. I think if you look hard enough, you'll find that it's not necessarily that hard to find ancient art with depictions of things like handbags in them. Here is a depiction of Jesus as the Good Shepherd from around the 3rd century AD. He appears to be holding something like a handbag, although in this case I think it looks more like a small cooking pot or cauldron. I think it's at this point, though, that I begin to realize that depiction of handbags from different parts of the world at different points in times isn't necessarily evidence of any cross-cultural influences. Sometimes a handbag is just a handbag, or a basket, or a cauldron. It's not that complicated to make a handbag or weave baskets. Even many modern tribal cultures who still live a primitive lifestyle can make handbags or weave baskets. In some cases, they might carry them on their heads instead of holding them in their hands. The point is, they still know how to make baskets. So it shouldn't be surprising that ancient people knew how to make baskets, and it's probably something even prehistoric people could do. Unless they were made of stone, though, it's unlikely any prehistoric handbags or baskets would have lasted until modern times, since they would have likely deteriorated beyond recognition long ago. The thing is, creating a handbag of some sort isn't really more complicated than creating clothes, so we shouldn't be surprised to see handbags depicted in ancient art any more than we would be surprised to see clothes depicted in ancient art. So, although I think it's possible some forerunner of civilization may have visited and influenced cultures from different parts of the world in our prehistoric past, I don't think these handbags are necessarily evidence of that. I think a handbag might just be a handbag. Those are my thoughts on that. Thanks for listening.